Prelude number 6 in B minor is another gem from Chopin's 24 Preludes, opus 28. It's slow and somber, in the same category as number 4 in E minor, but a little bit more moving, not as statically grinding, but still very sad. From the two sets of nicknames that exist for the set, which are not Chopin's own by the way, Alfred Cortot called it Homesickness and Hans von Bülow Tolling Bells. And they paint a pretty good picture of the character of the piece. Let's start with some tips if you're playing this. Practice hand separately, and especially the left hand by itself, to learn how to form the melody properly. Like, where are the notes going? Also, this is a good spot to train to change finger on one note when it's pressed down, because you kind of need to do that here. Here, I think the 4 is a good finger to get here, and then change to 1. So you can go down without kind of jumping. So you can keep the whole phrase in legato. And then kind of add the right hand when you know the left hand. Also with pedaling, I think you can have one pedal for the first 2 beats. To feel this B minor sound full. As long as you do a really clear melody in the left hand, up on the way up. Here, this bar 7, everything gets much harder than the rest of the piece. So really isolate this part, this bar, and practice it much more than the rest. Because the right hand gets a melodic entry, and you get both melody and harmony in the right hand. So let's start with the right hand. The harmonic pulse increases to change chords on every 8th notes. Before it's been like 1 chord for 2 bars or 1 bar, and then really make sure you know where each note is, and in the left hand too. And then you want this nice sound balance in the right hand with the melody on top. Really shine and soft. And here too, even if it doesn't say beams on opposite sides anymore, but it should still be like that. Okay, so together. I mean, that's pretty much it. Focus on bar 7 and practice the left hand by itself to know how to form melody for the rest of the piece too. Now let's look a bit at the musical form. So we've heard the music. It's one nice long phrase in B minor. And this C sharp is an aching second. Really a good note on a minor chord. The 9 or a second, it's the same note in the scale. Sometimes you say a 9 chord, like add 9, but it's a second. Back to the 1 and the melody. So the second phrase reaches higher, and it's more pressing. And grinds against the E instead. Here we get light. The sun is coming in. It changes from B minor to G major. It's just 1 note. It changes F sharp to a G. You get the major chord. So it's in the B minor scale. It's the submediant, the 6th scale degree. So it's just close to the tonality. back to minor, and some uncertainty. Here we get this increase in harmonic pulse, so kind of go to C sharp 7, that's the secondary dominant, and then diminished, a diminished chord, and more diminished, and finally we reach this point, which is an F sharp major, some F sharp 7, it's a dominant back to B minor, and it's called a half cadence when you end a phrase on the dominant like this. So then the resolution that you want to come comes only with the start of the next phrase. So the tension is still there, and then we get the resolution to B minor with the start of the next phrase. This is just impeccable music writing right there. So now we get the same phrase again, start in B minor. And now we go to G major immediately, so it's a variation from the first time. It's more, something's happening earlier. So go to C major. So G major is related to B minor, but C major is not really related to B minor because B minor has a C sharp in the scale. So we have G as part of the B minor scale, but the C is more foreign, but C is still related to G major because it's dominant. G is also the dominant to C major. So here he modulates to C major with this G. But still, so when it first comes, it's kind of temporary, more light coming in, but then he stays in C major. And just by way of staying, he kind of established C major as a new tonal center. It's also the same motif, motivic material as in the beginning. This move up with the 6 notes. In C major, it's just expanded to the grandness, more grand version, and to increased frequency. And then, so break in the left hand and lift the pedal, so the right hand plays these notes by itself. To prepare this. So here we're approaching the end of the piece, like we've passed the middle, it's a short piece. Here we get a new motif in the left hand, and we're back to this diminished uncertainty. So, and again practice this. And I think again. And over this, more movement of the inner voices, voice leading in the right hand. Maybe my right hand was a little bit too loud. Also, be careful with the pedal on the 16th notes. You don't want it's too messy. Like either on the 8th notes, or kind of I think I don't really do anything. I'm very connected with the right hand to play legato without pedal. And then on the last. Also the second time, it's not B minor in the right hand, it's G, and with the E we get this E minor 7. And the turn around. So here again we reach F sharp 7, the dominant. So you would expect the resolution to the tonic, or the resolution would be, that's the B minor, but here Chopin delays that and we get a deceptive cadence to G major again, also with the appoggiatura, which is a suspension on the beat, so this whole chord is left on the beat for maximum tension. So you can, this is the diminished, but you kind of sense the, here is the light. Really lovely, lovely turn here. Also, you have this sus chord on the way. It's not just that. You have on the way F sharp sus4 to a lot of suspensions and resolutions. Okay, now we get the second round of this motive. It's the same thing. And now, finally, we get the resolution to the minor tonic. So it's a really long, prolonged cadential movement here. But finally, the B minor. Now, just the final closing statement. This is a lovely, lovely detail, the A natural, because we have the A sharp, because A sharp is part of F sharp major, which is a dominant. This is like the normal harmonic minor. But then when you get the A natural, it's more of a modal minor, so it's another flavor. It's not an F sharp chord at all, it's still over B, but it's a new flavor. And we get the same phrase as in the beginning to close off the piece. And then the accompaniment, the bells tolling in the right hand, you just get this fading in the distance with the break. And also there's a pedal marking that apparently is Chopin's original, that you're supposed to press it down from here all the way to the end. I mean, I think on a modern piano it gets a bit too messy, so I light it up a bit like most performers of this piece do. But the feeling is maybe it should be a bit more murky somehow. Thanks for watching Sonata Secrets. If you enjoy these videos, a great way to support the channel is to check out my upcoming solo album of some great piano music by Scriabin. I do a few different things as a pianist, and these analysis videos is one thing, a great way to share the love for piano and for Chopin. But doing a real album is another important part of me as a musician, and it actually gives me inspiration to keep working and produce more content in the long run. So I've set up a crowdfunding campaign for this project with some great benefits you can check out on the link below. And it's a great way to support me as a one-off if you think signing up for Patreon every month is too big of a commitment, because that is a big commitment, and I'm very thankful for the patrons I have over there. So the Patreon shout out in this episode, which is a benefit you get on Patreon, goes to Jay Perlman. Thank you very much.